To continue this series on graphics versus movie clips, I want to show you how graphic symbols give you access to looping options and a frame picker. These are powerful features that make graphic symbols the choice of people doing character animation. So let's start by revisiting our file from the previous video where I showed you that movie clips run independently of the main timeline, but graphic symbols, like the red one on the right here, is going to advance as its parent timeline advances, okay? So as I go through all these frames here, you'll see it's looping multiple times. Let me go back to frame number 1, click on the graphic, and in the properties panel, you'll see that under looping, the options are set to loop, and the first frame will be 1, okay? So what I could do is say, hey, you know what? I want the first frame to be number 8. As soon as I type in 8, the graphic advances to its 8th frame. And then as I scrub forward, I'll go to frame 9, 10. And then since we're still set to loop, we'll go back to 1 and go all the way up to 10 again. And we're just going to loop infinitely as I scrub through the timeline. I'll go back to frame number 1, click on the graphic. And I want to show you that if we don't want to loop, we can also say, hey, let's play once. So here I'm saying we're going to still start on frame number 8. And we'll go to 9, 10, and then it's just going to stay there on 10, all right? We've played through one iteration of that graphics timeline, and it's going to stay on its last frame, which is frame number 10. Going back to frame number 1, I can say I want you to play on a single frame, and again, I can select any frame I want. Right now, it's just going to be 8, and as I advance the playhead in the main timeline, we're just staying stuck on that frame. Now, what's cool about graphics is that in frame 25, I could add another keyframe by hitting F6 and say, hey, you know what? I want you to show me frame number 5. So here in frame 1, we're showing frame 8, and then all the way through we get to frame 25 and it jumps. So I've done all of that just to show you that the looping options give us a fair amount of control over what state or frame of the graphic we want to display at any given time. Now, in this example, it's really pretty obvious that I know that when I type in, frame number 8, I'm going to see an 8 over here. But in real life, it's not always that simple. So what's cool is that, I think it was in Animate CC 2017, they added this frame picker, which shows you all of the frames inside the symbol. So I'm going to click on frame 10, and then my graphic updates to frame number 10. So that's super cool. And now what I want to do is show you a practical application of this, all right? Very rarely are you going to have clips that have just 10 frames that have 10 numbers in them. So let's take a look at our green monster here, all right? If I go to play his animation, you're going to see that his eyes and mouth just sort of freak out. And as I scrub through, you'll notice that they're all both changing to different frames. So I have a mouth layer and an eyes layer. In the library, I have eyes symbols and a mouth symbol. If I double click on the mouth graphic, you'll see that there's a few keyframes with different types of mouths in different positions, all right? If I go to the eyes symbol, here you'll see that we have 3 layers for the background, the pupils, and the eyebrows. And in each keyframe, I'm just sort of moving those things around to make different eye expressions, if you will. Here the eyes are looking kind of forward, here they're shut, here they're getting sort of wide-eyed, and then we have looking to the left, looking to the right, and then we have sort of angry. So let's go back to scene 1. And now please forgive me, I'm no professional character animator or illustrator, but let's try to make this mess here looks somewhat decent. So very quickly, I'm going to go back to frame number 1, and I'm going to tell the eyes symbol in the properties panel that we're only going to use a single frame, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing for the mouth. So as I just showed you previously, that's going to make it so that we stay stuck on those frames of those symbols while I'm scrubbing the main timeline. Very cool. So I'm just going to go out to frame number 5, and in the mouth layer, I'm just going to hit F6 to add a keyframe. I'm going to select the mouth, and what I want to do is put it sort of in its resting or closed state, but I don't know what frame number that is. You know, I could guess here all day. Maybe it's 4. No. Maybe it's 3. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could just use the frame picker? So I'm just going to click on frame number 2. And let's move you over so I can actually see what happened. So there's frame number 1, frame number 2. Very cool. So I'm going to leave the frame picker over here. And let's also select the eye symbol here. And it's important in frame 5 that maybe I want to add a keyframe first. And now I'm going to close the eyes, so I'll do something like this. So in frame 1, he's ah, and then he's going to go oh. And then maybe a few frames later, we'll have him open his eyes again and change his mouth expression. So I'm not really going to try to mimic anything terribly close to reality, just show you that, you know, I can open the eyes again and then click on the mouth, and maybe he'll be just a little bit like this, you know, what's going on? So now he's like, oh, maybe a little confused. I could have him look to the left or right. So maybe in frame 10, you know, I don't always have to move the eyes when I'm moving the mouth. So, you know, if he's talking, his eyes aren't always going to be going crazy. I could give him a little bit of that. I could go out a few frames, hit F6 again, maybe twist it over, and then, you know, wait a little bit, hit F6, and let's give him a big smile and with his eyes, although I intended, we'll go to these. All right, very cool. So now as I'm scrubbing through, you can see that I can basically create any like permutation of expressions of the eyes and the mouth. Now obviously I've done this fairly quick, but even just messing around, if I go back to frame number 1 and hit play, you know, it's a pretty cool result, all right? If you put like maybe 20 minutes into this, you could actually get a character that looks really cool. And you don't just have to, you know, be restricted to changing the eyes and the mouth. You could have hands or legs or full body positions of the character dancing in different positions. So hopefully this video shows you how the looping properties of a graphic symbol and the power of the frame picker really give you a lot of control over your graphic symbols. In the next video, I'm going to show you how blend modes and filters give movie clips a little bit of a leg up. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up? Real quick, if you liked the video, please consider giving a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to get notified when new videos come out, just click that little bell. Ding dong. If you got any comments, leave them below. I'll read every one and do my best to help you. Have an awesome day.
Normal Daddy.